Hello friends, welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Maureen, and today we are going to be reading some stories about playing pretend. Do you guys like to play pretend? I love playing pretend. When you pretend, you can be anything that you want to be, and you can be anywhere that you want to be. You could be a princess who lives in outer space and fights aliens, or a cowboy who lives underwater and rides on a seahorse. You can be a doctor, you can be an astronaut, you can even be a horse. You can be anything that you want to be. Playing pretend by yourself or with your friends is a great way to practice storytelling. It's a great way to use your imagination, and I don't know if you know this, but it's a great way to learn. You are learning when you play pretend. Sneaky. What are some of your favorite things to pretend to be? Before we go into our books, why don't we start off with singing our hello song? When we sing hello, we're going to make a salute, and when we sing friends, we're going to take our two fingers and have them give each other a hug. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Let's talk about the word pretend. What letter does pretend start with? It makes a p sound. Pretend. That's right. Pretend starts with the letter P. P is for pretend. To sign the letter P in American Sign Language, take your two fingers, turn them so they're facing down. P. P for pretend. To sign the word pretend, take your hand, bring it over to the other side of your face. With your thumb on your cheek, just pinch your hand 2 times. Pretend. Pretend. Good job. Why don't we learn how to say play? What letter does play start with? Play. That's right. It also starts with the letter P. P for play, P for pretend. P. Let's learn how to sign the word play. To sign the word play, take both of your hands and fold down your fingers so that just your thumb and your pinky are sticking out. And then twist. Play, 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 pretend. Good job. Let's learn one more word. Let's learn how to say imagination. Imagination is really important when we play pretend. And the more you play pretend, the better your imagination gets. What letter does imagination start with? It makes a I sound. Imagination. That's right. Imagination starts with the letter I. I is for imagination. To sign the letter I, stick up your pinky. I. To sign the word imagination, take both of your hands on the side of your head and then move them in circles. Imagination. It's sort of like all the thoughts inside of your head, all of those ideas, all of those stories. Imagination. Good job, friends. Now you can say pretend, play, and imagination using American Sign Language. Let's sing our ABCs together. If you like, you can pat along while I sing at home. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job, friends. Let's go into our first book. The Branch by Mireille Messier and Pierre Pratt. The Branch. It's past my bedtime, but I can't sleep. Maybe it's because I'm too excited about the holidays. Maybe it's because of the sound of the icy rain hitting my window. Tick, 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 tick. When I finally doze off, I dream that I am wearing a crown of icicles. My tree is my castle, my branch is my throne. I am queen of the storm. Creak, crack, crash, thud. My eyes snap open. What's that noise? I throw back my covers and rush to the window. Everything outside is covered in ice. It looks like the entire neighborhood has been wrapped in a heavy blanket of diamonds. It's beautiful, but a little scary too. Mom stands next to me at the window. Her breath makes a cloud on the glass. We're lucky the whole thing didn't come down, she says. What came down? I ask. That's when I see it. At the foot of my tree lies a big, broken branch. I rush down the stairs and out the door. That was the branch I sat on, jumped from, played under. It was my castle, my spy base, my ship. I try to pick up my branch, but it's too heavy. I run my fingers along the bumpy ice. Can we fix it? I'm afraid not, says Mom. Can I keep it? It's just a branch. It's not just a branch to me. I played on this branch all the time. Mom touches the splintery part of the trunk where the branch used to be. All right, you can keep it for a little while. But I want to keep it forever. We'll see, says Mom, squeezing my hand. I know that squeeze. It means probably not. As I look around, I see more broken branches. In the yards, in the street, stuck upside down into the trees. I watch my neighbors digging and scraping. They gather broken branches and carry them to the curb, making big heaps, like beaver dams in the city. Workers in shiny coats are cleaning the road. They climb ladders, fix wires, wrap yellow tape around trees, and put orange cones on the sidewalk. Everybody is so busy. I wish I could climb my tree to watch them, but I can't. My next-door neighbor, Mr. Frank, is out with his chainsaw. The buzzing makes my ears ache, but I won't go back inside. I block my ears and guard my branch. I want to make sure nobody comes to take it away or chop it up. Finally, Mr. Frank stops sawing when he catches sight of me over the fence. Why the long face? My favorite branch is broke. Oh, I see. So what are you going to do with it? I shrug. It's just a branch. Just a branch? But it was your favorite, right? I nod. That's what I thought. That branch is full of potential. What's potential? It means it's worth keeping. Mr. Frank hands me a small piece of wood. What do you see? A piece of wood? Sure, but what could it become? Mom comes over carrying mugs of hot chocolate. Hi, Frank. I see part of your tree came down too.
Yep, that was quite a storm we had.
We're guessing what's hiding inside the wood, I tell Mom. Mr. Frank chuckles at Mom's puzzled look.
I build things from salvaged wood, says Mr. Frank. With some imagination, each broken piece can become something great.
I look at my favorite branch. It has potential. I concentrate, I squint, and then I have an idea. I know what my branch can become.
I knew you would, said Mr. Frank.
What is it? Asked Mom. Is it a walking stick? A coat rack? A birdhouse? No, it's even better, I say. I cup my hand and whisper into Mr. Frank's ear.
Oh, good idea.
But I don't know how to make it.
I can help, says Mr. Frank. I have the tools and I have the time. All you need is elbow grease.
Mr. Frank's workshop smells sweet, like Sunday breakfast. We work together on weekends and sometimes after school. He shows me how to use the tools to make my branch into something new. We draw plans, we measure, we saw some more, we dry the wood, and then we wait, and wait, and wait. We plane, we make holes. Then we varnish 3 coats to make it last a long, long time. It wasn't just a branch. It was my branch. The one I sat on, jumped from, played under. It was my castle, my spy base, my ship. It still is. She turned her branch into a swing using her imagination. Now she can play on it for a long time. The end. We are going to do a little feltboard activity that's based off of the book called It Looked Like Spilt Milk. This book has lots of different shapes in it. Something is changing shapes, and we're going to use our imagination to decide what we think the shapes look like. And there's no wrong answers. I will say what I think the shape looks like and what the book thinks the shape looks like. But just because you think it looks like something else doesn't mean you got it wrong. So while I show you the shapes, why don't you shout out at home what you think the shape looks like? And maybe you'll be surprised to find out that it can look like many different things. Okay, and let's try to guess what it is that's changing shape. Because it looked like spilt milk, but it wasn't spilt milk. What could it be then? Well, it looked like a bunny, but it wasn't a bunny. And sometimes it looked like a bird, but it wasn't a bird. It looked like, what could that look like? Maybe ice cream, but it wasn't ice cream. Sometimes it looked like, maybe a flower, but it wasn't a flower. Oh, now it looks like a tree, but it's not a tree. What could it be? What could be changing into all these different shapes? Ooh, well, it looks like a pig, but it's not a pig. And sometimes it looks like a sheep, but it isn't a sheep. Ooh, what do we think it looks like now? Ooh. Maybe a great horned owl? But it's not a great horned owl. What is it? Do you guys have any guesses? I don't know. What can change shape so many times but not be any of those things really? Oh, it changed again. It looks like a birthday cake, but it's not a birthday cake. Sometimes it can even look like a mitten, but it's not a mitten. Ooh, it looked like a squirrel, but it's not a squirrel. Sometimes it can even look like maybe an angel or a fairy, but it's not. What could it be? What is up in the sky some days and moves around and changes shapes? A cloud. It looked like spilt milk, but it was a cloud. Cloud gazing is one of my favorite things to do on a nice day. You can spend hours just making up stories and picking out different pictures in the sky. And they always change, so you always have something new to look at. Let's see what our next book is. Juna's Jar by Jane Bahk. Juna's Jar. Juna's family always had a large jar of kimchi in their fridge. After they finished eating all the kimchi, Juna sometimes got to keep the empty jar. Juna loved to take the jar and go on adventures with her best friend, Hector. They went to the park near their apartment to collect colorful rocks and small bugs. Once Hector found a green caterpillar. Juna worried that it wouldn't have what it needed to make a cocoon, so they let it go. One morning, Juna went looking for Hector to go on another kimchi jar adventure. She ran downstairs to his grandmother's apartment. "Hi, Abuelita," Juna said to Hector's grandmother. "Can Hector come out to play?" "Hola, Juna," Hector's grandmother said, giving her a hug. "I'm sorry. Hector is not here." Then she told Juna that his parents had come the day before and taken Hector to live with them in a big house far away. Hector had wanted to say goodbye, but Juna was not home. Juna was very sad. When she got back home, her big brother Minho tried to cheer her up. He took Juna to Mr. Lee's pet shop and bought her a small fish. Juna watched the fish swim in circles in her jar. That night, when everyone else was asleep, Juna put on a diving mask and fins and dove into the water. Juna's fish took her everywhere. They swam with sea turtles, played with dolphins, and discovered a giant clam. "Can you help me find my friend Hector?" Juna asked her fish.
They swam to a dark underwater cave. Hector wasn't there, but they found huge snakes slithering in the sand. When Juna got closer, she saw that they were actually tentacles. Juna wondered if they belonged to an octopus or a giant squid. I wish Hector was here, Juna thought. He knows everything about animals. By the next day, Juna's fish had grown so big its mouth nearly touched its tail. "Oppa, my fish needs more space," Juna said to Minho. With his help, Juna put her fish in the aquarium in their living room. Juna's jar was empty again. Minho had an idea. He gave Juna a small bean plant he had grown at school for science class. They found some soil and carefully put the plant in the jar. That night, when everyone else was asleep, Juna put on hiking boots and climbed down the plant into a lush green rainforest. Juna swung on vines, climbed a tree with a sloth, and sang with howler monkeys. "Have you seen my friend Hector?" she asked them all. One monkey pointed to the river and jumped away. As Juna got closer to the water, she saw that the rocks in the river began to move. They weren't rocks at all. It was the back of an alligator or a crocodile. She wasn't sure which one it was. I wish Hector was here, she thought. He would know. By the next day, Juna's plant had almost reached the ceiling. "Oppa, my plants grew too big for my jar," Juna said. Minho helped Juna put the plant into a large pot on their balcony. Juna's jar was empty again. Minho and Juna walked to the park. A cricket chirped in the bushes. Juna quietly snuck up on the cricket and cupped her hands around it. Then she placed it gently into her jar. Minho helped her find twigs and leaves, and they put them in the jar too. When they got home, Juna punched holes in the lid of the jar so the cricket could breathe. That night, when everyone else was asleep, Juna put on goggles and a helmet and hopped onto the cricket's back. Juna and the cricket rode through the night sky together. They flew over tall buildings that looked like giant steps leading to the moon. They followed a trail of cars that lit up the hill like a string of holiday lights. Then the cricket landed on a windowsill of a big house. Juna peeked in the window. There was Hector, asleep in his bed, and on the bedside table was the kimchi jar that Juna had given him. Hector looked like he was having happy dreams. Juna smiled. "Bye, Hector," she whispered, and then she hopped onto the cricket's back and flew home. By the next day, the cricket's antennae had poked through the holes in the jar's lid. "Oppa, the cricket grew too big for my jar too," Juna said. So Minho and Juna walked to the park and set the cricket free. Juna's jar was empty again. Juna looked around the park and wondered what she could put in her jar next. "I wish," she thought. "Look what I found," a girl behind her said. "Can we put it in your jar?" Juna turned around. A green inchworm was wriggling up the girl's arm. Juna smiled and held out her jar. Juna was able to see her friend again by using her imagination. She was able to say goodbye. I have a couple really quick songs for us. They involve a little bit of imagination and definitely some jumping, so get ready to jump, okay? All right, this first one is called Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. So we need to march our feet and make our zooming hands.
going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Now climb a ladder. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. And 5, start to get low. 4, a little lower. 3, even lower. 2, almost all the way. 1, get ready, blast off! This next song is one of our favorites at Storytime, and we definitely use a little bit of imagination in this one. We're going to pretend to be little bunnies. So think about how a bunny moves. And try to act like a bunny when we sing this song, okay? So we're going to start off, we're sleepy bunnies, so go to bed, little sleepy bunnies. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. They're so tired, should we wake them soon? They're so still, are they ill? No! Wake up, bunnies, and hop! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, and stop. Good hopping, but it made me so tired. I have to go back to sleep. Good night, little bunnies. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. They're so tired, should we wake them soon? They're so still, are they ill? No! Wake up, bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, and stop. All that hopping made me so tired. I have to go back to bed. Good night, little bunnies. See the little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. They're so tired, should we wake them soon? They're so still, are they ill? No! Wake up, bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, and stop. Good job, little bunnies. Let's move on to our last book. This one is called What If by Samantha Berger. What if? With a pencil and paper, I write and draw art to create many stories that come from my heart. But what if the pencil one day disappeared? I'd fold up the paper till stories appeared. And what if that paper was no longer there? I'd chisel the table, then carve the chair. And what if there wasn't a chair here at all? I'd chip and I'd peel at the paint on the wall. And what if there wasn't a wall anymore? I might build a story from boards in the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4. Without any floor, I could still use the land and sketch out a tale in the dirt with my hand. I could still shape the leaves. I could still sculpt the snow. I could still plant the flowers and make kingdoms grow. Without any land, I would still use the light, invent shadow stories the sun would ignite.
there was no light, I would still use my voice to sing out my stories, to chant and rejoice. I'd still have my body to twist and to bend, to dance out my stories, beginning to end. If I had nothing, but I still had my mind, there'd always be stories to seek and to find. If I know nothing but one bit of fate, as long as I live, I will always create. As long as I live, I will always create. The end.
Thank you for joining me today for Storytime, friends. I had a great time. I hope that you did too. We will have another Storytime posted this Saturday, and we'll be back again next Thursday. If you'd like to sign up for the Zoom Storytimes, please email me at the email below. Before we go into our at-home craft today, let's sing our goodbye song. So we're going to wave and we're going to clap. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends and wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, friends.
Today we are going to make popsicle stick puppets. These are great to express creativity, and the best part is you get to play with them after. First, we'll want to gather our supplies. For this project, you will need a piece of paper. It can be any color, some scissors, a pencil, popsicle sticks, and glue. You'll also need some things to decorate your puppets with. So I chose some ribbon, some string, some feathers, and markers, but you can use anything. You can use more paper, cut and shape to look however you want. You can use buttons, sequins, maybe you have some scraps of fabric lying around. Get creative with this part. You can make them look like whatever you want. Use your imagination. First, I traced some circles and cut them out for my puppets' faces. You can get creative and use any shape that you want, but I stuck with circles this time. And then I drew on some faces for them. Next, you're going to want to glue your faces onto your popsicle sticks. And then go ahead and add some hair or maybe some feather mustaches or whatever you want to decorate your puppets with on their heads. Next, I designed their outfits. You can really get creative with this. I made a princess and a superhero, but maybe you want to try making even an animal or some kind of monster. Do whatever you want. Make as many as you want. And you might need to use some tape here. I had to tape the dress on, or perhaps a hot glue gun to help get things to stick, but make sure that you have an adult's help or supervision. And now it's time to play. So have fun.